I opened and closed my eyes repeatedly, staring at the luxurious villa before me, something that only existed in novels. It took me a moment to believe I had truly time traveled. Then Luna. How dare she send someone to harm me? The position of his wife. You've held it long enough. A male voice full of rage echoed from behind. I turned my head and saw a man with striking features tossing a stack of documents in front of me. The words divorce agreement blazed brightly.
Luna?
Aren't these the female lead, the female supporting role, and the roles from that short, twisted, and bloody novel I just read? Why am I in the body of the pitiable female lead, who miscarried 3 times because of the male lead, then got bone cancer and was about to die? Luna, we're divorcing, the man said coldly. I froze for a second, then scornfully replied, divorce it is. Who cares? This time it was Ethan's turn to be stunned. He narrowed his phoenix-like eyes, observing me. What trick are you up to now? I suppressed my urge to roll my eyes and fearlessly looked back at him. I agreed to the divorce. Got it. You damned father of the male lead. When reading the story, I wanted to punch him for the female lead. He probably didn't expect me to agree so easily and was left speechless. I flipped through the divorce agreement on the table. This father of the male lead actually wanted the female lead to leave with nothing. Impressive. But Ethan cheated during our marriage. I want half of your assets. Nothing excessive, right? If you agree, let's draft a new divorce agreement now. From now on, we'll live separate lives. With that, I forcefully tore the unequal divorce agreement right in front of him. Luna, finally, you've revealed your true face. You schemed 1,000 ways to marry me just for money. You greedy woman. Ethan seemed to see right through me, his face twisted with pain. Didn't you always look at me like that? If I'm not greedy, how would I deserve your criticism? Stop talking nonsense. Give me the money, and I'll leave immediately. Who wants to sit on the family's wife's chair? Let whoever wants to take it. I don't care. I plopped down on the sofa, acting like the Empress Dowager. Ethan put on an incredulous face, then gritted his teeth. You're dreaming. Money that doesn't belong to you. Don't delude yourself. I really couldn't hold back and rolled my eyes. This father of the male lead didn't even want to give her a penny after the female lead miscarried 3 times for him? Is the female lead blind? Why does she like him? Besides his handsome face and superior business acumen, he's nothing but scum. Then let's do this. As long as we're not divorced, your Lily will always be the third party. Wait your turn. No, you can't even be called the third party. Ethan's face turned furious. His hands clenched so tightly they cracked. It seemed he was on the brink of exploding. Does this father of the male lead still want to commit domestic violence? Are you ashamed? My heart trembled, probably because the original host still loved him, so I felt heartbroken. But rest assured, Luna. Now that I've time traveled here, I'll get back everything Ethan owes you. President Ethan wants to hit someone? Fine. Then I'll make this public. You forced your wife to miscarry 3 times for a third party, and I still have the medical records. Every corner of this villa's living room has cameras that recorded everything clearly. If you dare, I'll sue you for domestic violence and make the S Corporation lose all face, mocked by everyone. Ethan's face twisted with anger. Yet he couldn't do anything. I almost laughed until my stomach hurt. The door slammed shut as Ethan stormed off. I sneered coldly. Compared to what he did to the female lead, this was nothing. Before I could even rejoice, a strong smell of blood filled my nose. I wiped with a tissue and saw it was covered in fresh blood. I almost forgot. The female lead in the story was just diagnosed with bone cancer and only had 10 months left to live. She even wanted to spend one last night with the male lead, get pregnant, then divorce quietly, letting the child be the final proof of their marriage. How foolish. To do so much for such a man? It's not worth it, Luna. Just now, when talking to Ethan, my sharp tone was completely different from the original Luna, who loved the male lead and obediently listened to him. Yet Ethan didn't notice at all. It seems he never truly saw Luna. He's not worthy. I went upstairs, found a high-end suit in the female lead's wardrobe, dressed neatly, and took the medical record, preparing to go to the hospital again. The original Luna loved the male lead and didn't care about dressing up, only wanting to cook for him at home. Even with bone cancer, she refused the doctor's treatment, her heart only for Ethan. But I'm not the real Luna. I must live differently. Right now, the first thing I need to do is survive in this novel's world. I must go to the hospital, have surgery to cure my illness and keep my life. Then I'll deal with the adulterous couple, Ethan and Lily. As I opened the villa door, before I could step outside, a figure lunged straight at me.
Luna.
I'm sorry, sister. Don't blame him. I'm pregnant with his child. Please divorce him. If you agree, I can do anything, even die. Lily wailed, dressed in a pure white dress, crying like rain, hugging my legs and kneeling before me as if I owed her millions. In reality, she was the one who stole my husband. You say you can do anything? Then get an abortion and slap yourself a few times. I'll forgive you, I said coldly, watching her act. Lily's tears flowed as she looked at me in disbelief, her bitter meat strategy failing. The child is innocent. I can do anything but. The child is Ethan's. I can't do that. She cried even louder, as if I were truly bullying her. The female lead in the story had truly miscarried 3 times because of Ethan, twice forced by him to the hospital, and the 3rd time she went alone. Thinking about it, my eyes stung. Where did I find the strength? I suddenly pushed Lily away and said coldly, You said you could do anything, even die. So die then. The day you're buried. I'll personally bring the divorce agreement to your funeral as a gift. Luna, how can you be so cruel? I'm pregnant and you want me to die? You're a heartless murderer. This White Lotus finally revealed her true face, screaming and scolding me. Cruel? A murderer?
I'm stunned.
This White Lotus truly knows how to reverse black and white. If you don't have the courage to die, don't come to me acting anymore. I feel nauseous. Leave. I dodged her and stepped outside in my high heels. Unexpectedly, Lily fell backward and tumbled down a few stairs.
Luna.
Why did you push me? How can you be so heartless? My stomach hurts, she wailed pitifully. I knew that damned male lead would surely appear at the right time to protect the female supporting role and scold the female lead. Sure enough, Ethan rushed over, narrowing his eyes. You White Lotus. I haven't even touched her and you want to blame me? Then I'll fulfill her wish. I stepped down the stairs, raised my high heel and stomped straight on her hand. The sharp heel ground painfully on her palm. Lily, lying on the ground, immediately screamed, tears streaming. This time it was real pain, not an act. Right. I knew I'd hit her. I'm not easy to provoke, yet she deliberately came to get hit by me. You're really stupid to say that. Even so, I'm not satisfied yet. I raised my hand and slapped Lily twice more, as if avenging the female lead in the story.
Luna.
What are you doing? How dare you hit Tutu? Ethan rushed to Lily's side, holding her as she cried pitifully in his arms. One was Luna, the other was Tutu. The way he addressed them was truly different. You hit her? Do you need to choose a day to hit someone? Besides, she offered her face for me to hit. If you don't believe me, ask her. Ethan, it's all my fault. Don't blame Sister Luna.
I'm sorry.
Lily covered her mouth, blaming herself and crying. If I hadn't read the story, I might have been fooled by her divine acting too. Did you hear that? She said not to blame me. I shrugged, indifferent. Luna, you're a venomous woman. You only dare to bully gentle Tutu. He glared at me. If looks could kill, Lily would have been minced into 100 pieces. I don't need her concern. I want to live a few more years. I don't know why, but my heart ached. I could feel the original host's reluctance. I stepped forward, staring at the adulterous couple. Ethan, just because I retorted to her, you found her pitiful, right? What about me? Those harsher words you said to me, were they few? Don't I deserve pity? She's a weak woman. Am I not a weak woman too? Because of you, I'm scarred 3 times, harming my health for life. I might never be a mother again. Don't I deserve pity? We've been married for 3 years, and you wanted to divorce me for a third party, wanting me to leave with nothing. Don't I deserve pity? You repeatedly showed affection for the third party right in front of me. Don't I deserve pity? I blurted it out, wanting to voice all the suffering the original host endured over the years. Ethan frowned, a flicker of hesitation in his eyes, speechless for a moment. I didn't care about him, dodged past them and continued forward. As I passed him, I stopped and said, If you still have shame, quickly send the new divorce agreement. If not, Don't blame me for turning the tables and ruining both of your reputations. Luna, are you serious about the divorce? In the past, it was always Ethan demanding divorce and Luna refusing to agree. Now it's the opposite, Luna is urging him to divorce. Ethan felt life was truly teasing. Why else would I coldly said, continuing to walk. Unexpectedly, a medical record fell from my hand. Mid-stage bone cancer. Confirmation. Luna, are you sick? Ethan saw the medical record. I turned my head and saw his eyes slightly red, even carrying a rare worry. It's none of your business. You never cared before. Now wanting to care is too late. I picked up the medical record, didn't turn back and left. It seemed I heard Lily's whiny voice from afar. President Ethan, Sister Luna's schoolmate is a doctor. It'd be easy to forge a medical record to gain sympathy, right? Knock, knock, knock. I knocked on the clinic door. I'm here, I said. The young doctor inside looked up, his handsome face smiling brightly. This was the male supporting character in the story, Dr. Noah, Dr. Charles, who secretly loved the female lead and had confessed but was rejected. Looking at him, he's actually as handsome as Ethan. And most importantly, he's devoted to the female lead. Yes, I want surgery. Will you help me? I've thought it through. Have you talked to Ethan? Surgery only has a 25% success rate. Dr. Noah clearly cared about me. I want to divorce him. My matters are my own. Even with just a 25% chance, I trust you. Now, I'm entrusting my life to you. In the original story, compared to the male lead's cruelty to the female lead, the male supporting character was like a faint ray of light in her dark world. So you've thought through the divorce? Dr. Noah gazed at me intently, then concluded, Luna, why do you seem like a different person today? Even the male supporting character noticed Luna's change, yet the husband who'd been married to her for 3 years, Ethan, didn't realize at all. Truly no comparison, no pain. My affection for the male supporting character grew a bit more. Really? Maybe this is called rebirth. Not that I'm dying of bone cancer and suddenly became enlightened. Dead set against that father of the male lead, right? I smiled casually, as if recounting someone else's story. All right. I'll perform the surgery myself. Trust me. Dr. Noah said seriously. Ush. But before the surgery, I have 2 things to do. Divorce. To make that adulterous couple pay. Then return to the villa. As soon as I entered, I saw him sitting on the sofa, seemingly waiting for me for a long time. Have you prepared the divorce agreement? I put down my bag and sat opposite him. In the original novel, every time Ethan came home, Luna wouldn't dare sit. If he sat, Luna would meekly stand by, waiting for his orders, pouring tea, bringing water. You're in a hurry to divorce. Ethan's face wasn't good, probably due to the stark contrast. I'm afraid the child in Lily's womb can't wait. And you don't want the child to be born illegitimate, right? I said calmly. Divorce is just the first step, Ethan. Just wait. Ethan nodded, his eyes filled with indescribable emotions. Sadness, regret, pity. I didn't understand. Here's the new agreement. Look at it. He slowly took out an agreement from his file and pushed it to me. I eagerly took it, but he suddenly pressed his hand down, holding the agreement tightly. What's wrong? Have you regretted it? I provoked him. Luna, tell me the truth. Are you sick? Do you have an unspeakable sorrow? Or are you very short of money? Forced to the brink. Ethan looked at me hopefully, probably wanting to hear me say yes, as he suggested. You're overthinking. Regardless of his stern face, I pushed his hand away and seriously examined the divorce agreement. The terms were very clear. Upon divorce, I got half the assets. Russell. I happily signed my name,
Luna.
under the female party signature. Now transfer the money. I only want cash. Real estate, companies, etc. all belong to you. Once the money arrives, I'll leave immediately. He stood up, and as he walked out, his back seemed unintentionally lonely. After I packed my luggage, a text message arrived. The money had been transferred to my account. Half of the S Corporation's assets, with countless zeros behind the number. After dealing with this adulterous couple, I'll have surgery for bone cancer. Then take the male lead's money and enjoy life abroad. Outside the villa gate, a simple black luxury car waited for me. Seeing me come out, Dr. Noah helped me put my luggage in the trunk politely. "Thank you," I said. "Luna, you don't need to be polite with me." Dr. Noah smiled naively. I glanced at the luxurious villa one last time. This was Luna and Ethan's house. Leaving, felt a bit reluctant. From my bag, I took out 2 thick envelopes and dropped them into the villa's mailbox, suddenly feeling lighthearted. Dingu helped me move my luggage. "Let me treat you to a meal," I said, tilting my head to look at the male supporting character's perfectly sculpted face. Gentle as jade, a proper gentleman. Truly, male supporting characters are for readers to swoon over. My phone screen lit up with hot news. President of S Corporation and Lily to get married soon. A perfect match. I curled my lip. How eager was this White Lotus? As soon as I divorced, she hurriedly leaked the news to the paparazzi that she was getting married to Ethan. This was truly unseemly. I suddenly felt a bit of anticipation. What expression would she have when she received my unexpected gift? The next day, my hotel room door was pounded loudly. Annoyed at being woken up, I opened the door and couldn't help but scold. "Who are you? Don't you know that disturbing others' rest is very impolite? And you'll be struck by lightning, right?" Ethan stood outside the door, looking pitiful and tormented, holding a diary. "Luna, were you the girl who saved me back then?" I yawned. Yesterday when I left, I sent Luna's diary to him, telling him the truth so he'd know he'd loved the wrong person all these years. It was too cruel, but I couldn't let Luna silently endure and swallow her tears. But now I deeply regret it. Back then I kindly donated blood to save him, but it wasn't even as good as giving that blood to dogs. Dogs would at least bark loyally at me. As for him, I replied gently, "You always thought the girl was Lily. She knew all the details about me saving you back then. You loved the wrong person. You shouldn't have treated me that way." Ethan looked full of regret, as if his intestines were green with envy. Because she secretly read my diary before. I didn't fuss with her. Now that I've divorced, I don't need to hide anything. "Alright, you know the truth now. You can leave." With that, I pretended to close the door. "Luna, can you give me another chance? It was all my fault for being blind and loving the wrong person. Can we start over?" Ethan regretted so much, his guts turned green. "What do you take me for? I'm a person with feelings, a normal person. After being treated so terribly by you, do you think I can still have affection for you? You're too self-absorbed. All of this isn't something you can erase just by saying you loved the wrong person. Just wait, your retribution and lies will come soon." I coldly looked at him, as if he were a stranger. And to me he truly was a stranger. Immediately, Ethan was so angry he spat blood. But compared to Luna being forced to miscarry 3 times by him, was it worth anything? To avoid Ethan fainting at my door, I kindly called an ambulance for him. Before he left, I unkindly reminded him by his ear, "Remember to check the news today." He looked at me in horror, always feeling my reminder wasn't something good for him. "Goodbye, Ethan. Farewell." I waved, bidding him farewell. That afternoon I sat on a bench, sipping flower tea while reading the news on my phone. Headlines continuously popped up. S Corporation's fiancé addicted to plagiarism. All her famous design works are plagiarized. Lily is actually the daughter of a maid. Didn't even finish junior high. Her marriage was with a pregnant belly. Who's the father of the child? A mystery. Photos of the fiancé entering and leaving hotels with multiple men. Intimate behavior. Below were the images. Plagiarism scandal shocks the design world. President of S Corporation covers up or condones the fiancé's fake identity. S Corporation stock plummets. Image ruined. I happily read the news. Yesterday, I sent the letters from the villa. I didn't expect those newspapers to act so quickly. After reading the original novel, I knew Lily's design works were actually Luna's. She stole Luna's design drafts and even begged Luna not to expose her. Luna was too kind-hearted back then. But I won't mention it. Even Lily's identity, she's actually the daughter of the Chun family's maid. Which is why she had the chance to secretly read Luna's diary, and know the entire process of Luna saving Ethan back then, smoothly impersonating Luna and making Ethan fall in love with her. As for Lily's child, she drugged Ethan to frame him, but it didn't work. She could only find other men until she successfully got pregnant. Knock, knock, knock. The door sounded. I walked over and opened it to see Dr. Noah. Thank you for helping me. Without your help, I don't think those newspapers would dare to publicly expose S Corporation's despicable deeds. I told him, anything you want to do, I'll definitely help you. So don't say thank you to me, Dr. Noah said deeply. It's not touching, it's fake. But my feelings aren't for you, a time traveler, but for that lovesick female lead, right? When you went, did you check on Ethan in the hospital? I asked about Ethan. Absolutely not, because I cared about him. He was furious after seeing the news, so angry he spat blood. His heart condition is hard to cure, and I'm afraid he'll have to stay in the hospital for a long time. Dr. Noah's face could be said to be a bit gloating. Then, he looked at me very seriously, saying word by word, Luna, you don't need to feel sorry or soft-hearted. This is all what Ethan owes you. I said, leaving the hotel with Dr. Noah. As he walked to the parking lot to get the car, I stood on the steps. A haggard woman emerged from a corner. After looking closely, I recognized her. It was Lily. Her hair was disheveled. Her clothes even had rotten vegetables and eggs thrown at her by people. Luna, you've ruined me. I want to kill you. Lily suddenly lunged at me with a dagger. I instinctively dodged. Lily, unable to stop, hit the glass behind me with her head, blood streaming down her forehead, looking very miserable and terrifying. Lily, this is your retribution. Moreover, everything I exposed is the truth. Don't think that the fake facade you've shown others for so long will become the truth. Counterfeits will eventually be exposed, I said coldly and decisively. At my words, the dagger in Lily's hand fell to the ground, and she collapsed before me, tears streaming.
Luna, I'm sorry.
It's all because I was possessed by demons. I can return all the design competition prizes to you. And I can give back my fake identity to you. I just beg you. Don't let President Ethan leave me. I just went to the hospital to find him. And he wouldn't even see me. I beg you, help me beg President Ethan, okay? The only person in this world I can't lose is him. Her eyes were red, and as she spoke, she brutally banged her head on the ground. I said nothing. Just watched her like an outsider, without a hint of pity or compassion. Her actions attracted many curious onlookers. I saw some start to point fingers, calling me heartless, cold-blooded. But I wasn't shaken. Not knowing where to stop, seeing I still had no reaction, she looked up at me, her face bloody, and scolded.
Luna,
How can you be so heartless? Are you really so cruel? Stop pretending to be pitiful. Your foxtail is showing again, isn't it? I thinly exposed her act. I advise you not to waste your energy. Use this strength to cry in front of Ethan instead of making me nauseous. I won't play this game. I'm leaving. As I walked out, Lily saw I had no intention of helping her. Her eyes turned vicious. She picked up the dagger from the ground and lunged at me again. I thought she still wanted to kill me, but unexpectedly, this time she turned the dagger on herself, stabbing towards Dr. Noah. Previously, every time he appeared, it was Ethan, but he always protected Lily. This time it changed. I became the woman he shielded. How to describe this feeling? It's the feeling of a heart pounding wildly, racing like crazy. Dean, I'm fine. Call the police. I gently patted Dr. Noah's hand to calm him, then took out the hidden camera I'd prepared in my coat pocket. Having read the original novel, I'd long guessed this woman, Lily, would never give up and would come after me no matter where I was. The power of the script. So I secretly carried the hidden camera to record this vicious woman's true face. Seeing I had a camera, Lily was completely terrified, collapsing to the ground, her eyes losing their light. After the police arrived, I replayed the scene, from when she intended to stab me to when she framed me, with clear evidence. Lily was handcuffed and taken into the police car for intentional injury, likely facing 3 to 10 years in prison. Digging one's own grave. Perhaps this is what it means for foolish women like Lily. Luna, I've avenged you, I said. In the hospital operating room, wearing a patient's gown, lying on the operating table, staring at the surgical light above, I couldn't help but tremble with fear. There was only a 25% chance of cure, either fully healed or dead on the table. I valued life very much and was afraid of death, even after time traveling. Dr. Noah, in his white coat, had just checked the surgical equipment and seemed to glance at me, noticing my fear. He comforted me. Luna, don't be afraid. I'll protect you. You'll be fine. Trust me. I trusted Dr. Noah's skills and felt a bit relieved. Dean, after you cure my illness, I'll give you a gift. Anything you want. Even if it's the stars, I'll pick them for you. He joked. But seriously, he replied. If it weren't for my upcoming surgery, I'd really laugh. But I have to ask you a question first. You said I've changed a lot recently. Do you prefer the Luna before or after the change? He was clearly surprised I'd ask this. Don't rush to answer. Wait until after the surgery and give me your answer. He lowered his head, and I whispered in his ear what gift I wanted. As I finished, I saw his eyes clearly change. Let's start the surgery. We can talk about everything after it's done, okay? I'm not in a hurry to hear your answer. The red operating room light immediately turned on. When I opened my eyes again, it had been 3 days since the surgery. I found myself a bystander in this twisted, bloody story. Luna had woken up in her body. She wanted to move her fingers but found her hand held by a warm, dry hand. She tilted her head and saw a black head resting on the edge of the bed. The man was fast asleep, just holding her hand tightly. Luna, you're awake, Dr. Noah said, noticing her movement, gently stroking her hair, surprised to see her. Luna, you're finally awake. He took care of her, helping her drink water, eat porridge, and was extremely attentive. After Luna fully recovered, he spoke as if he'd thought for a long time. While you were in a coma, Ethan came to find you. He said he deeply regretted it and wanted to pursue you again. But I chased him away. Luna was dazed for a moment, as if waking from a dream. Looking at him, she praised. You did the right thing. A good horse doesn't eat grass from the past. Moreover, he's a poorly treated horse, no longer worthy of your love. Let him leave. Dr. Noah, hearing this, his eyebrows lifted with joy. Yesterday I saw the news. It said the S Corporation got into some scandal, and shareholders were demanding to withdraw their investments. Ethan must be in a panic now, right? He deserves it. Luna scolded again, then suddenly burst into tears. Dr. Noah was flustered. Luna, don't cry. They've already paid the price. Luna sniffed and asked, Dean, in the end, do you prefer the Luna before or after the change? Dr. Noah had seriously considered this question and answered quickly. I feel you've changed into a different person. But it's a good change. I just want you to live well. No matter what you look like, I like you. Even if it's not you anymore. Luna murmured very softly. What did you say? Nothing. Dean, can you consider this a confession? Will you agree to be my boyfriend? I agree, Luna said immediately, as if afraid he'd change his mind. Here, I could imagine the readers going wild over the male supporting character's sacrifice being rewarded and breathed a sigh of relief. Good. The female lead has awakened. Dr. Noah took out a blue velvet box from his coat pocket. Luna, here's what I prepared for you. Will you accept it? Inside the box was a 10-carat diamond ring shining brightly. No matter how you change, as long as you're Luna, I like you. After all, I've chosen you for life. Dr. Noah took out the ring and slowly put it on Luna's ring finger. After being discharged, Luna temporarily stayed in a hotel, planning to move in with Dr. Noah after their wedding. Knock, knock, knock. The door sounded. Luna stiffened, looking at Dr. Noah. He went with her to open the door. Standing outside was Ethan, who was almost unrecognizable. Compared to before, he looked much more haggard, with heavy dark circles under his eyes, as if he hadn't slept well. Stubble on his face made him look years older. His white shirt was half tucked into his pants, half hanging out, no longer the refined businessman he once was. Seeing Luna and Dr. Noah standing together like two peas in a pod, he was clearly shocked. Ethan stood as if struck. What brings you here? Luna spoke first. You two are together now. Ethan forced an awkward smile worse than crying. Seeing Luna not answer immediately, he said with disappointment and bitterness, Right, I'm just your ex-husband. I have no right to ask you these questions anymore. Luna, I've missed you. Ethan looked at them. President Ethan, did you come to me just to say these meaningless words? I think, given our current relationship, It's not appropriate to stand here reminiscing about the past. Luna crossed her arms, not intending to talk much with him. Luna, can you lend me some money? His eyes flickered with embarrassment. Due to the negative impact, shareholders are demanding to withdraw their investments. Almost all my cash was given to you, and real estate can't be sold immediately. I can only ask you to lend me some for now. President Ethan, you used to be so powerful, yet now you're begging your ex-wife for money? Luna, fearing he'd disturb her new life, decisively took out her phone and transferred a sum of money. This money isn't a loan. Consider it compensation for my youth and the years I spent with you. For a man, calling it a youth fee is indeed a low blow, but a strong insult. Dr. Noah, standing behind, couldn't help but laugh. After receiving the money, Ethan said nothing more and left. I watched his back disappear, thinking to myself, Ethan encountering me time traveling here is also unlucky. Calling him the most tragic male lead in the novel isn't an exaggeration, but it's his own doing, turning his male lead status into a male supporting role. Even the lovesick female lead no longer needs him, so his punishment ends here. A month later, Luna and Dr. Noah registered their marriage and held a grand century wedding in the city. She sent an invitation to Ethan to provoke him, but he didn't come. 3 years later, she gave birth to a boy and a girl for Dr. Noah, and they traveled the world with their children. The story has a new ending. I think this new ending is much better. Late love is better than no love at all. After the story ended, I returned to the real world. My phone rang. A long string of zeros appeared in my bank account, accompanied by a message. The person I like is Luna, but I'm very grateful to you. Thank you for coming. I lay on the bed laughing and crying. Woohoo! The male supporting character's deep love. I like this gift to death.